Bonjour. Today's lesson, we're going to talk about something called Emploi du temps, and that means a schedule. Okay, so we're talking about a school schedule. So to start out, we have just a quick review of the verb avoir, meaning to have. So we have j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Okay. Now we have a couple of questions here. We have tu as, you'll see, you have, tu as, quel cours? You have what classes? Okay, so what classes do you have? Okay, another way to ask this, if you're speaking to more than one person, vous avez quel cours? Okay, and we could also ask about what classes does she have? Elle a quel cours? Okay, so this is pretty interchangeable. To respond to the question, tu as quel cours? You can respond this way. So you start with avoir, j'ai, histoire, sciences, mathématiques, et informatique. Okay? Note that just for classes, it's actually just kind of an exception. When you're talking about what classes you have, you don't put the article before it. So you're not saying, for example, j'ai les maths, okay, l'histoire, etc. So we've taken out the article, as you see in the typed example. J'ai histoire, j'ai maths, all right? Remember that in France, students don't have the same schedule every day. It varies. It's not like that usually here in middle school, but in American high schools, it's oftentimes like that, where one day you'll have a certain set of classes and another day you'll have a different set of classes. So you might want to ask, what classes do you have on certain days? All right, and to ask that, we say, tu as quel cours? Okay, we've already started that phrase. Tu as quel cours le lundi? Now, when we're talking about something that occurs weekly, it's like this every week, we put le before the day of the week. Tu as quel cours le lundi? Okay, what classes do you have on Mondays? All right, so you would say le lundi, j'ai art plastique, anglais, et EPS. All right? So, le lundi. You could also say, for example, if you have a certain set of classes on Tuesdays, you can say le mardi, j'ai, and then list your classes. Le mardi. On the other hand, if someone's asking you, like, what are you doing on Friday? It's talking about this specific Friday, then we could just say vendredi, without the le. Vendredi, je fais du shopping. Okay, I'm going shopping. All right, so that's the difference. Something you do weekly includes le. Something that's just coming up in the week, it's a single thing. Vendredi, je fais du shopping. So at times you're going to need to know at what time certain classes are. Okay, so you can ask, tu as français? You have French, like French class. Tu as français? À quelle heure? At what time? Tu as français à quelle heure? And your response is, j'ai français à 9 heures. J'ai français à 9 heures. Okay? So you include à, the number that the hour is at, so 9. And then you have to include heure. You have to say heure. In English, we can just say, I have French at 9. In France, they have to say, I have French at 9 o'clock, at 9 hours. Okay, and I just wrote the second sentence so you can see how it's abbreviated. We write time like this with a colon, okay, 9 o'clock. They write it with an H because it signifies heure. So 9H, 9 o'clock. J'ai français à 9 heures. Okay, so as you saw in our previous screen, if we're talking about 9 o'clock, we say 9 heures. Now, I've written out all of the numbers here, just so that you can see how they work. Really, the only one that is different is 1 o'clock. You'll see une heure, and you'll note that all of these, heure ends in an S, okay? The last one, it does, or in une heure, it doesn't because it's one. Okay, it's not plural, it's one, une heure. Okay, that's really the only difference. Other than that, we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the other thing that you'll notice in une heure is that it's feminine. It's not un heure, it's une. And that's because the word heure, hour, is feminine. Okay, but otherwise, like I said, just same old numbers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, in France, when you're talking about a schedule, whether it's a school schedule, a movie schedule, a train schedule, they use military time just so that it's very clear the exact time. So when it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they don't say 1 p.m., okay? They say 13 heures, 1,300 hours, we would say in military time. 13 hours, 14 hours, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and finally 0 hours. Okay? So you can see if you have trouble with military time, all you have to do to think about it is subtract 12. Okay, so once you're past 12 noon, just subtract 12 from the number and you can have the time. So if we subtract 12 from 13, 1 o'clock. Subtract 12 from 14, 2 o'clock, okay? So get used to seeing this. 13 heures, 14 heures, 15 heures, 16 heures, okay? Maybe even challenge yourself and change the time on your phone to military time so you can get a little bit more used to it. All right, that's all I have for you this time. So I'm going to say bonne chance, and I will see you next time.